A lady who instilled fear for generations. This is her chilling legacy. In just 6 years, she married 17 men and successfully killed all her husbands. Even today, parents warn their children about her story. This is the untold tale of Lala Wan, spanning from 1980 to 1986. The story began in Punjab, India, in 1980. Lala Wan, just 14 years old at the time, was married to a man from her village due to family pressures. Despite having a boyfriend, she was compelled to marry someone else. Time passed swiftly, and 6 months later, her husband was found dead one morning. In India, funerals are traditionally completed on the same day before nightfall, and this case was no exception. Keep this in mind. We'll revisit this later. At the time, villagers were sympathetic toward her, but this death marked the beginning of a sinister saga, one that ties directly to her love story. Lala Wan was young and beautiful. Within a few months, she remarried, this time to a man from a neighboring village. 6 months later, she returned to her home, announcing that her second husband had also died. Remarkably, even after 2 deaths, the villagers harbored no suspicions about her. She had grown up among them, and her family was well respected, which worked in her favor. These factors helped her evade suspicion. Just 2 months later, she married a third man, this time an older gentleman from another city. 4 months later, her third husband was gone, with nothing left but a photograph to remember him by. She returned to her village yet again. During the 1980s, astrology held immense influence in India. Instead of questioning her, villagers attributed the misfortunes to her astrological fate. Soon, the killing spree resumed. Lala Wan successfully orchestrated her fourth mission, fourth marriage, and murder. This husband, too, met his end 4 months after the wedding. After each death, she would return to her village, but this time she stayed in the city and began hunting there. Marrying and killing men became routine for her. By the time she was 20 years old, Lala Wan married an elderly man from her village. He was her 16th victim. 6 months later, he too was dead. Interestingly, the number 6 seemed to play a recurring role in her story, as most of her husbands died 6 months after marrying her. However, this time, her luck ran out. Villagers, and especially the police, began suspecting her. As authorities dug into her life, they discovered she had married 8 men. What they didn't know was that the actual number was double their estimate. The police concluded that Lala Wan was the killer, but they were empty-handed to prove it. Determined to uncover her motive, they spoke to those close to her. They initially theorized that her actions were tied to her boyfriend. But here's a major twist. Her second husband, who died 6 months after their wedding, was actually her boyfriend. This revelation debunked the police's theory entirely. At the same time, Lala Wan was preparing for her 17th marriage, the 9th as far as the police knew. Authorities tried to intervene and protect her new husband, but failed. As expected, 6 months later, her 17th husband was dead. This time, however, the police made a game-changing move. They halted the funeral and conducted a post-mortem examination of the body. The autopsy revealed her horrifying method. She had used arsenic, a slow-acting poison that takes 7 to 8 days to kill. As I said, in India, where funerals are conducted on the same day, post-mortems were rarely performed, allowing her to mask her crimes. In all 16 previous cases, the quick funeral process had helped her escape detection. With undeniable evidence, the police arrested her. At this moment, they realized it was, in fact, her 17th marriage. During the investigation, Lala Wan admitted to her crimes and revealed her chilling motive. After a few months of marriage, she would lose sexual interest in her husband. To satisfy her desires with someone new, she would kill her current husband and move on. This remains one of the most untold stories, surrounded by countless conspiracy theories. What are your thoughts on this chilling tale? Share them in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.